Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts, and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. So today Monday, it means that it's time to update our view on cryptocurrencies. Last time, Thursday, when we discussed the situation here, we said that, well, based on the performance that we see, it would be better to wait because market was showing some bearish signs. It was no sufficient bullish context for taking position. And although chances existed for a breakout of the resistance, mostly it was seemed that it would be just safe to take the position at some support, because overall performance and the background that we have that we had at this moment actually it was not sufficient for decision making, for trading. And overall environment also was not supportive to the Bitcoin market, and that's why we have made decision to wait at least when the market will reach the 41, 42 support area for a position taking, at least for considering taking the position. Well, in general, not many things have changed since then. And first of all, on the monthly chart, you could see that we still could talk about the bearish sentiment, long-term bearish sentiment on the market. Just market can't break through the yearly pivot point. So once it has dropped below it, it has tested it and pulled back. So usually when the market stands in an area between the pivot and pivot support 1, it's indication of the bearish sentiment on the market. Still, another important moment on the monthly chart for a long-term investment is these lows. So while these lows are valid and market stands above it, we still have some hope that, or at least market has the chance, let's call it in this way better, to show another upper swing. So theoretically here we could consider kind of the free drive pattern, maybe something of that sort, when the market could reach new top before maybe deep retracement. So that's why these lows actually also have the special meaning for us. At the same time, overall performance on lower time frame currently suggests that this action that we have, this upside, probably is not yet the reversal and not yet the continuation of the major bullish trend. It now remains and looks more like just a pullback after this downside action, which means that we can't currently ignore and just take off the table the potential target around 126 that we have on the daily, which is actually very strong support. It might be decisive for a long-term period, long-term view on the Bitcoin, because this is pivot support 1, this is major 618 level, and it's also OP target on the daily chart. So that's, shortly speaking, what we have on the higher time frame. On the weekly chart, it's also nothing actually important. The one thing that you could see here, this last week was relatively bearish, and the market has dropped indeed from this confidence resistance. So currently we again could say that this area has not been broken, and that add more points to the theory that we have not starting of the breakout here, but this is mostly just the BTC retracement forming Gartler's triple to sell that we discussed many times already. And market starts downside action, but at least currently it might be still just a reaction on the pattern. It's just, you know, that the minimum reaction on the free drives and on the triple two patterns is the 30% retracement. And based on the next step on the Bitcoin, we could say more definitely whether it's just a reaction on the triple two and we are ready for upper continuation, or it will be indeed reversal or just minor retracement and market is ready for downward action. So other words speaking, if market stops above the minimum target and returns up, this will be bullish sign. If it will break it to the downside, this will be bearish sign, suggesting that market in the midterm standing to taking out of this loss. So this will be just the downside continuation of the thrusting action. That's what we have here. On a daily chart, it's no patterns yet, so you could see just a reaction. Here was minor retracement also, just at the 30% level, as you can see, of this thrust, the 30% pullback. We already talked a lot about this ABCD pattern. We said that CD leg is all very slow. It increases chances that will be not just a pullback, but it will be downside reversal and downside continuation. These chances still exist. You can see that trend here stands bearish on the daily chart. So in the daily, we do not have any bullish signs by far. Some things that we could keep an eye on. In general, this performance is absolutely not a surprise, because if you take a look at the dollar index, for example, as you can see, that's already taken out the top and moving higher. So on Friday, it was some pause in upward direction, but in general, performance in the recent few weeks, as you can see, rather significant. And actually, that's the reason why on the euro currency we're waiting for a breakout of the same extreme point, but to the downside. And finally, if you'll take a look at the interest rates, it also brings nothing good to Bitcoin performance as well. So you can see a market showing the significant upward action. This week again started with the upward continuation again. And in general, as we said many times, you can see a very fast acceleration here on the CD leg. It means that OP already has been passed. The market currently stands in the overbought situation, but it absolutely brings no barrier for upward continuation. So it means that the pressure of the sellers on the United States treasuries is really significant, that push interest rates higher. And this, of course, the headwind for Bitcoin market and headwind for stocks. So in general, if you take a look at the American stocks, you also could see an S&P index that is also dropping once the interest rates has turned to the upward direction. And the Bitcoin, as we said many times, it has really tight relation currently with the stock markets, and this also makes some pressure on them. So as you can see, overall environment for Bitcoin currently not very positive, which means that downward continuation here is very probable. Not maybe immediately, but with the perspective of 1-2 weeks, probably that market really could keep going lower. So currently it seems that bears have a little bit more points in favor than the bulls, based on the sentiment, based on the cross-market analysis, performance of the markets as well. So still, we're going with our trading plan. If we'll take a look at the fall time frame chart that we discussed as well on Thursday, that was our suggestion. So 42, 41 area. That's if you intend to take the long position, maybe it makes sense to consider these levels for making the decision. And currently, as market is coming closer to these levels, for traders who trade on intraday charts and tend to take the long position, here is, well, at least this is much safer than it was right here when we start our discussion. We have the strong support. Here's, you can see bullish trend, even some divergence is growing, maybe even we have some grubbers. No, we haven't got it, but anyway, divergence is growing minor, so it means that minor pullback here is possible, and at least this provides at least some insurance with the stop placing below this area and making at least the scalp trade. But do not marry any long position. Once market starts bounce, move stops to the break even immediately, because overall context, overall sentiment is not very positive on the market. What particular patterns we could keep an eye on today? So I think that on an hourly chart, it makes sense to consider 3-drive buy pattern. Actually, we got here the butterfly. It was completed right here. Its minor reaction has happened on this butterfly, and the market drops more. And reason for that is that actually, guys, we have this ABCD pattern and XOP. This OP retracement, markets keep going to the XOP. And here, 3-drive perfectly agrees with the XOP, which is 141.08. And that in turn, both patterns perfectly stand in agreement with this support area, 41.40 and the 42 area. So once these patterns will be completed, it might be considered, and reaching of the XOP might be considered as a point where you could make the decision on taking the long position, if of course we will not get some just plunge down through this area below the 40 even. So in this case, of course, we should not take any position. But if it will be the same gradual downward action, market will reach these levels. That's the pattern that you could consider if you would like to trade Bitcoin on the long side on the intraday charts. So that's our view on cryptocurrency. Currently, we are considering only tactical bullish patterns, tactical bullish setups, but we do not see yet the good background for investing in Bitcoin. It is not clear yet, and for the investing purposes, it makes sense to wait a bit more and see what will happen.